Hello, everyone. This is Charles Alvarez, President and CEO of Cornerstone Growth Solutions. And what we're going to talk about today is a pretty big problem in the sales world today, which is taking the leads that your business is already generating and converting them into new clients quickly and expeditiously to where you don't waste any lead. So, first and foremost, who is this for? Number one, this is for CEOs, vice presidents of sales, vice presidents of marketing, and sales and marketing executives who, number one, are frustrated with your sales conversion rates. Many people that we talk to these days are just beyond themselves that they have a great product, a great service, and they just cannot understand why sales aren't happening, even though leads are coming in through the door on a fairly consistent basis, either daily, weekly, or monthly. Number two is if you're tired of seeing your sales team give up or ignore leads you pay for. It's amazing to me how many times I hear sales managers, sales leaders just beyond themselves as to what it is that their sales team does all day. And they're just getting to the point where they're just completely frustrated with the lack of follow up and the lack of attention being paid to the leads that are already being paid for by the business. And number three, just wondering what your sales team does all week. You look at their CRM, you look at their productivity numbers, you look at their close ratios, you look at the number of appointments they're having, and you're just wondering what on earth are they doing? And do you dream of, number one, converting a higher percentage of your leads into new clients? Sounds like Nirvana, doesn't it? Reducing your sales cycle and meeting and or exceeding your sales objectives. Saw a stat the other day that the average organization falls anywhere between 18 to 24% short of their sales goals overall. That doesn't mean that they don't have salespeople that are not reaching their goals, but for the most part, most companies that not are falling way short of their sales objectives. And there's a very good reason for that, and we'll cover that during this presentation. So here's my big promise to you. What I'm going to go over today is a time-tested, proven system that has led to an increase in your conversion rate of at least 15 to 25%, reduce your sales cycle by at least 25%, and helps you meet and or exceed your sales objectives. And these numbers are very, very conservative. If I actually showed you what the real numbers were, you just wouldn't believe me. So I just wanted to be very conservative here and just make a promise to you that sets me up to under-promise and over-deliver. So if you stay with me throughout this entire presentation, I will give you something called the Business to Business Way to Wealth template. What it does is it breaks down your business into the four main quadrants, which is marketing, sales, procurement, and operations, in order to so you can analyze exactly what part of the sales cycle or marketing cycle or your operation needs some attention. It also comes with a field guide on about, I don't know, I think it's 20 ideas per section on how to improve upon each of those four main areas of your business. So it's well worth it. It's an awesome gift. It can completely give you clarity on what's broken, what you need to do, or what are some ideas you need to do to fix it. And it really simplifies your business down into manageable components that you can break down and help fix. So it's a great template. It's one page, the actual template itself. I try to keep it as simple and as straightforward as possible, with, of course, the field guide giving you more details. So that's my promise to you also if you stick with me throughout this presentation. So does this sound like you? Number one, your sales team's conversion rate is way too low. Your sales cycle is too slow. You're tired of this one. Just gets me. This one I just think is laughable. And I got to say that every time I hear it, I want to just roll my eyes. But a lot of sales team are saying that the leads that they are getting are not good enough, or they're not in big enough quantities. And you look at your marketing or your lead generation, and it actually is working pretty well. So, like I said, it just baffles my mind. Do you believe that if you could just find the right salespeople or generate more leads, that all will be well? Well, that's not the real issue. That's not the real problem. Finding great salespeople is not the answer. As a matter of fact, it can just exacerbate the issues that are already there, because what really is lacking is you haven't made the 5 shifts yet. And what we're going to do is going to go through each of the 5 shifts over the next 30 minutes or so, just so that you understand them, and not only what the shifts are, but how to implement them inside of your business. So Once you experience the sales conversion system, number one, your sales conversion ratio will increase by a significant amount. I said earlier 15 to 25%. We've seen increases of as high as 53%. We've seen as low as 13%. So, again, that's my promise. Number two, you will reduce the amount of time it takes to get a new client by at least 25%. The sales cycles that we are seeing out there from the prospects and leads that we are currently working, what we're finding from their sales team is that their sales cycle is just way too long, and it doesn't need to be that way. We'll show you how to fix that. And number three, your sales team will be more productive. Productivity basically is a measurement of the amount of production divided by the amount of time to generate that production. It's actually an old machine term where they used to measure the productivity of their machine assets. So I hate to compare people to machines, but at the end of the day, either people are an asset for you or a liability. So we're going to show you how to turn your sales team into an asset versus a liability. And here's the one thing you need to know. There are 5 simple shifts that you need to make to scale your business and to grow your sales. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make those shifts today in the next 30 minutes. So before I get into it too much, I want to first tell you who the heck this is speaking. Number one, I am the CEO and president of Cornerstone Growth Solutions. We started in August of 2012, and we have helped over 400 clients grow their business and add a total of $289 million in sales. Again, that's a conservative number. Those are the numbers that we do know that our clients tell us about, but we believe that there is much more revenue generated above and beyond the $289 million in sales. But as far as recordables, that's what we have recorded. That's what we've seen from our clients from audited financials. Number two, we have significant experience in transforming ineffective sales team into productive assets. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that every single person that is in sales should continue in sales, but we have had a very successful track record of transforming ineffective sales teams into productive teams. And number three is we specialize in one thing and one thing alone, is to growing sales of professional services business. And that includes technology companies, staffing and recruiting companies, as well as architecture and engineering companies. Those are the only 3 businesses we work with. The reason why is because that's where our team has the expertise in. You don't have to teach us what .asp is or .net is or the software development cycle. I actually started my career at Accenture. I actually started there when it was called Anderson Consulting, so I guess I'm dating myself a little bit, but spent about 6 years there. After that, got into financial consulting, did that for about 9 years, and now since about August of 2012, I've helped professional services companies grow their sales, so that's all that we do. So let's talk about the first shift. The first shift is a big one, which is be consistent with buyer psychology. Sales is about becoming a master at people and buyer psychology. So if you don't understand buyer psychology, you're not going to get very far when it comes to sales. So the first thing that we have to recognize about prospect and leads, and let me define this first and foremost, because there's a lot of confusion out there between the difference between a lead and a prospect. We define a lead as somebody that has given you permission to contact them again regarding the product or service that you offer. A prospect, in our definition, and this is how we're going to use this in this presentation, is a prospect is somebody that has now engaged in your discovery process or your fact-finding process to uncover in detail where your prospect is now, where they want to get to, and how fast they would like to get there. So a prospect is somebody that is now actively engaged in the sales process, whereas a lead simply is somebody that is giving you permission to contact them again about the particular product or service that you offer. So I want to be clear with that. So prospects and leads come to sales teams or a sales professional for one reason and one reason alone, and that is to seek information. And if I could say that better, is to seek wisdom on that information. Information, as we all know, is free, right? I mean, you can go and Google just about anything that you want these days. But actually being able to apply it to your particular business case is the information that your prospects and leads are really seeking. Number two is that you have to understand this. The only thing that a prospect or lead is interested in is how your company can solve their business challenge or business case or pain point. I hate using that word, but a lot of salespeople use it, so I'll be consistent with that. So again, the only thing that a prospect cares about is themselves. It's the old adage, what's in it for me? What's the greatest and most popular radio station in the world? What's in it for me? So, first and foremost, as we get into this buyer psychology, we first understand a little bit about the human brain. Now, this is not to turn you into a physician or anything like that, or a brain surgeon. This is not brain surgery. However, we have to understand how the brain processes information so that we can fit our communication in a manner that is consistent with that design. So there are three major parts to the human brain. There is the reptilian brain, the limbic system, and the neocortex. The reptilian brain is the fight or flight brain. It's basically survival. All they care about is survival, and it actually is right there at the bottom of your brain, actually leading from your spine into your brain. So, it's the survival mind. The survival mind is looking to avoid pain. That's all it cares about. So that's good and bad for a salesperson because most people want to avoid the pain of having to talk to a salesperson. So we have to get past the reptilian brain and make it a safe environment for them to talk to you and or your sales team with. The limbic system is right at the middle of the brain, and it actually does not have it doesn't actually speak a language. The language that it does speak, or the way that it does communicate, is through emotion. It is able to take an event or a situation and assign it as either good or bad. And it assigns it as good or bad based upon your experience with that feeling. So, for example, for most people, when a salesperson calls, the one thing that they are scared of is making a bad decision, or they're scared or fearful of not making a decision, or they're fearful of, well, what if I make an investment decision, or what if I invest in this product or service and it doesn't work? So the limbic system basically is the emotive part of the brain. Our goal as salespeople is to get people to the neocortex. The neocortex is the very top of the brain and is what actually differentiates humans from any other creation, which is the ability to make long-term decisions. The neocortex is the part of the brain that has allowed man to get to the moon. It's allowed man to invent. It is the creative aspect of the brain that is able to create long-term value. So we want to get to the neocortex as quickly as possible. And we want to do that by creating a safe environment to satisfy the reptilian brain. And when it comes to the limbic system, as far as emotion, we want to create peace and security that the prospect or lead is going to be taken care of. In other words, you're going to be serviced well by the interaction with your sales team. Because here's the thing, and I remember when I first got into sales in the mid 90s, people say, my mentor said, Charles, people do not buy, they get sold. Well, yeah, when you didn't have the internet and, millions and millions of pages of information at the click of a button, yeah, I can see that, because at the end of the day, until about the information age, which was about 1998, 1999, basically the salespeople were the guardians of information. If you wanted information, you pretty much had to go visit the company or talk to a salesperson. Now information is free. Wisdom isn't, but information is free. So the way to look upon sales is to approach your prospects and leads by serving them with the information that they need based upon what their business challenge is, and then providing them enough wisdom and information to allow them to make an informed decision. So that is really the purpose of a salesperson now, is to provide information and to extract from the buyer what their challenge is, what they're looking to accomplish, their fears, their hopes, their dreams, and then fit that business case, if it's appropriate, to your actual product or service, and to demonstrate them or to teach them or to show them how your product or service can alleviate or address their business challenge. So people are no longer sold. They are buying based upon the information you give them or that they obtain. So information and wisdom is critical to buyer psychology. And here's an example of that. Larry Peacock, gosh, I love this guy. He's the CEO of AppSmith. He and I have become outstanding friends. And his issue was that he had tons of leads, but very little to no sales. So what we did is we started to provide those leads. It was actually 1,216 leads over the past 12 months. I mean, that's a lot of leads. And these are good leads. However, we weren't providing them with information. So what we did is we started providing them webinars and case studies and information on how his technology, which actually is gas lift technology, to increase. I mean, it's a great value proposition. His software and his services can help increase production on gas lift wells by 10 to 20%. That is huge. For to go to a production engineer or production foreman to say you can increase production by that much, that is outstanding. The problem is we weren't demonstrating to the buyers or to the leads or the prospects how AppSmith can do that. After we did that, after about 2 or 3 months, he went from $50,000 a month in sales to $200,000 a month in sales by simply providing information. So I'm saying is don't be scared to share information. Your prospects and your leads want information. They're desperate for information. They're hungry for wisdom to say, okay, how can I take this and apply it to my business to solve a business case? Don't be frugal when it comes to providing information. Your competition is being frugal. Don't be frugal. Provide your prospects and buyers with what they want, which is wisdom and information on how your product or service can solve their business case. So, at the end of the day, you can also use providing them wisdom and information to transition from the information stage to the discovery or fact-finding stage. The way that I greet my prospects is I say, hey, my name is Charles. What information do you need from me? And then they will tell you. And then you say, okay, and then you can go right into the discovery phase or the fact-finding phase. Okay, so out of curiosity, what brought you to the conclusion that you want that information? So you're transitioning from the kind of the greeting or the introductory phase almost directly into the fact-finding discovery phase, which is the phase you want to get to very, very quickly. Because again, you want to provide your clients or your prospects information, but you don't want to overwhelm them with information. I had one client, or now he's a client, but a prospect last week say, well, just send me some information on your program. I was like, we've got 3 programs. We got a lot of information on it. What information are you really looking for? And he says, well, the issue that I'm really looking to solve is we actually have enough leads. I need to close those leads. Okay, well, let me give you some information on that. So out of curiosity, what is your sales conversion ratio? And then I went right into it with asking questions about where he is now, where he wants to be, and how fast he wants to get there. So it's a great way to transition directly into the discovery or fact-finding stage. So that's key shift number 1. Here's the shift number 2. The money is in the follow-up. The money is in the follow-up. Look, prospecting is fun, and it's exciting, and it's sexy. Asking for a discovery meeting or an introductory meeting, most salespeople think is boring, and it's like, gosh, can we just get to the presentation? The presentation is the reward that salespeople get for prospecting, relationship building, and discovering. And so many salespeople fail to properly follow up with those that have a level of interest in the product or service you can offer. The average sales professional follows up only 2 or 3 times with their leads and prospects. Here's a problem with that. The close rate or the probability of closing somebody in less than 3 follow-ups or the first 3 follow-ups is less than 5%. So if you're only following up 2 or 3 times, or if your salespeople are following up 2 or 3 times, this close ratio or the probability of generating sales is less than 5%. Here's the reality. Most sales occur after, number 1, the prospect knows you, likes you, and trusts you. You can do that very quickly by providing them the right information at the right time based upon asking them for what information that they are looking for. Don't say, how can I help you, or what can I do for you, or what can I talk you into, or what can I sell you? That's complete crap. Simply ask the prospect or the lead, what information do you need and why? Number 2, this, like I just said, the sales professional has provided the right information at the right time, and the prospect has a need and a budget to fix that business challenge. There are only 4 ingredients necessary for a sale. Number 1, There has to be a budget. Number two, there has to be a need. Number three, there has to be a relationship. And number four, the timing has to be right. And here's the thing that most salespeople, when they look at, they just want to vomit, but it's true. In order to close a sale, your greatest probability of closing it is in the 7th to 12th follow-up. Here's some good news for you, though. What we have found in reality, and multiple studies have shown this to be true, if they, if they don't buy within 12 follow-ups, chances are they're not going to buy either from you or the competition. So 7 to 12 follow-ups is simply what it takes. Here are 3 reasons why sales professionals do quit on the leads. Number 1, their eyes and their ears deceive them. They'll look at a lead and say, it's the wrong title, it's the wrong industry, it's the wrong this, it's the wrong that. Look, if somebody has given you permission to provide them information or to follow up with them on information on how you can help them solve their business challenge or business case, just call them. What do you have to lose? Worst case is you can at least get a referral or at least get some practice on going through the sales cycle. The more salespeople will prejudge the leads, the lower the likelihood that they're going to meet their sales objectives, which also means the lower likelihood that the company itself is going to meet their sales objectives. So simply just call and follow up with those leads. Number 2, low-hanging fruit gets priority. Look, when every salesperson would love to have a lead that says, hey, I looked at your website, I looked at your information, I'm ready to go. Or that low-hanging referral. That's all fine and dandy, but so many sales are lost by not going through the process of developing a relationship, doing the discovery phase, doing the presentation phase, overcoming objections, and closing the sale, because the salespeople, and this is just human nature in general, which is people like to follow the path of least resistance. Look, I'm not saying don't go after the low-hanging fruit, but at the same time, also make time in the day to also follow up with all of your leads, because you never know where they're going to follow. Don't prejudge. Your eyes and ears will deceive you. And number 3 is the fear of loss, fear of rejection, and fear of criticism. What if they say no? What if they don't like me? What if they don't like the product or service? What if I say something wrong? Look, here's the thing. Masters have failed, or in this case, have heard the word no more times than an amateur or average sales professional has even tried. Let me say that again. A master in sales or an effective salesperson has heard the word no or failed more often than an average to below average salesperson has even attempted. So do not let the word no. It's just the way I look at no, I've actually become immune to it, and I tell my clients this all the time. At the end of the day, when you hear a no, all that means is that there's one less person in the world to worry about today, because now you know that they're not interested. There are thousands of people that want you, that need your product or service. A no simply gets you just that much closer to the person that is interested in your product or in your service. So here are the 3 principles of following up. Number 1, be consistent. Look, I don't care what time of the year it is. I don't care whether they are calling you back or not. It doesn't matter. You be consistent. If you're supposed to follow up 7 to 12 times every other week for the next 2 months, do it. Whether that's a phone call, an email, or a combination thereof, or inviting them to lunch, or inviting them to a webinar, or a presentation, or whatever. Be consistent. We have to remember one thing about your prospects and your leads. They're busy. They've got a ton of stuff going on. Our job is to be consistent and to do the 7 to 12 follow-ups. I don't care if you've done follow-up number 9 and they haven't called you back or they haven't returned your email. Keep following up until they either say no or until you've done your entire 12-step follow-up or done your 12 follow-ups. So number 1, be consistent. Number 2, be of service. If you treat your leads and your prospects like a client, more often times than not, they will become one. Being of service could mean providing them information, providing them case studies, providing them wisdom, giving them perspective. So service them as if they are already a client. And more oftentimes than not, and many of my clients are surprised at this, they will become a new client. And number three, be professionally persistent. My default is to follow up with my prospects once a week for 12 weeks. And what I do and what I recommend my clients do is alternate between phone calls and emails. Some of my clients or some of my prospects or leads will say, hey, follow up with me once a month or follow up with me every 2 weeks. If the prospect or lead tells me how often they want me to follow up with them, then by all means, follow up with them that much time. I mean, we definitely want to be of service to our prospects and leads. However, if they don't give you a frequency in which to follow up with them, I simply do it once a week for 12 weeks. So here's an example of how beautiful a follow-up process can be. So this is Justin Johnson, great guy. He's in LA. He's actually the vice president of sales and marketing for Veruzi, which is a end-to-end procure-to-pay system, which basically helps manufacturing companies, distribution companies really streamline their procurement-to-pay process. So he was actually doing a really, really good job generating leads. He was averaging about 100 leads a month, but there were only like closing 2 or 3 of them a month. So what he needed help on was actually getting more appointments with these leads, because the salespeople only following up with them 1 or 2 times, and we all know, like we talked about earlier, that the chances of closing a lead after 1 or 2 follow-ups is less than 5%. So what we did is we came in, we implemented our follow-up system, and we set up 33 meetings to close in 2 months. Justin was beyond himself happy because he thought, gosh, it's going to take you 10 to 15 follow-ups just to get one. And I said, no, more like 7 to 12, and we can get that done in about 7 to 8 weeks. 8 weeks later, 33 meetings and a happy client. So the money is in the follow-up. Number 3, accountability. Accountability is the glue that holds your sales organization together. With it, you can grow your business substantially. Without it, it's a mess. And you're just going to be making people decisions and sales decisions based upon feeling, which may or may not work for you. Usually doesn't. So here's the heart, first and foremost, beyond accountability. The essence or the purpose behind it is coaching your sales team to perform at a high level. Can it lead to somebody being ousted or fired? Yes. However, the heart behind it does not need to be to make a case to fire somebody. It needs to be a case to hone in on the areas that your sales team needs the most help on. Here's the fact of the matter. Top sales professionals embrace accountability. Average and below average salespeople run from it, because average and below average salespeople do not want to be found out. They want to just coast, make their $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year without that much effort, and they really don't want to be held accountable because they know if they are, they're going to be exposed. And what I mean by top sales professional are not just the people that are performing at a top level and meeting and exceeding their sales quotas or sales objectives. I'm talking about those who also want to be great sales professionals. Great sales professionals, whether they're just starting in sales or have been in sales for 25 years and successful, they all want to become better today than they were yesterday. That is a consistency among top sales professionals. So, what does accountability look like? Number 1, got to have a weekly sales meeting to discuss results and future plans. What worked well last week? What didn't work well last week? Here's some ideas on improving upon the results next week, and what is the activity that you plan on doing next week to meet your objectives. Number 2, one-on-one meetings with each sales rep aimed at enhancing each team member's results. It's got to happen. And number 3, and this is big, there can be no tolerance for blaming. Each sales team member is 100% responsible for his or her results. So nothing about, well, oil prices are down. Well, the economy is down. Look, there are thousands of people out there that are still in business that need your product or service. You probably only need 25 to 50 of them. You're telling me that you're going to let a 2% recession or a soft spot in the economy completely just obliterate or reduce your sales growth? No. Now look, if you're General Electric and you're multi-billion dollar company that is very tied to the economy because you need thousands of customers paying hundreds, if not millions of dollars a year in transactions per year, okay, fine, I'll give that to you. But most of the companies that we deal with are anywhere between 5 million to about 80 to 90 million dollars in sales. Those type of companies are the companies that we typically work with. There are thousands of companies that need your help and they need it now. So there is no tolerance for blaming or excuses on why you're not meeting your sales objectives. So here are the metrics that we found to be the most important to track. Number one, number of introductory calls. If your sales team isn't meeting with new people on a weekly basis, something is wrong. We like to see at least 5 introductory calls per salesperson per week, because typically that gets them all on the right path. Number two, number of discovery meetings. We like seeing at least 60% of the introductory calls convert into discovery meetings. And that's typically what we see happen in our programs. So we want to see 60% of the introductory calls convert into a more meaningful discovery or fact-finding meeting. Number three, number of proposals sent. It is shocking to us how many salespeople go to a discovery meeting or make a presentation and fail to ask them if it's okay to send them a proposal. Nothing happens unless a proposal or a quote is sent. So track the number of proposals sent. Number four, proposals accepted. Obviously, proposals accepted divided by proposals sent is your sales conversion ratio, which is number 5. It is critical to track these 5 numbers, because what gets tracked gets improved upon. So at least, are there other metrics out there? Sure, there's hundreds. We find that the simpler it is, the better. Here are the 5 metrics we like to keep the most. Next, simplify your proposals and presentations. It is amazing to me how complex and how convoluted and how hard to read so many professional services companies' proposals are. So, proposals and presentations should, number one, articulate or reinforce the challenge that the prospect told you that they had in the fact-finding or discovery phase. That shows the prospect or lead that you were listening. Number two, demonstrate how much it costs the prospect to live with that challenge. Most prospects cannot articulate how much it's costing them to live or to put up with whatever challenge that they have. Number three, provide 2 or 3 solutions in solving that prospect's issue. So many of the clients that we have worked with and are in the past and present, what we have found is that they're just providing one solution that's the most expensive. Most new clients want to step into a solution. They don't want to go for the Ritz-Carlton white glove service off the bat, because, even though they're starting to know you, like you, and trust you, they've made poor decisions in the past and they're scared. So the more you can ease them into it or do a phased approach into the solution, the better. So provide them 2 or 3 options on solving the prospect's issue. And number 4, show the prospect clearly on how your solution addresses the prospect's challenge. And number 5, give evidence or social proof through case studies or testimonials from other people just like them in their industry, in their particular geographic location, if that's applicable, on the fact that, look, you've done this for other people and it has worked. That significantly reduces their fear of making a wrong decision. Remember this, a confused mind does not buy. So when you're providing a proposal and presentation, you want to follow the KISS and the WIIFM principles. KISS is keep it simple, stud. I'm not going to call you stupid. I think that's degrading. I know that acronym KISS, many people have quoted it to be keep it simple, stupid. I like to be encouraging and positive. So my thing is, I think that you and your sales team are have amazing potential, and they're all studs. They just need to be given the right direction, the right types of leads, and the right process, and they can be successful and wrap it all around in accountability. So number 1, keep it simple, stud. Number 2, WIIFM. Like I said earlier, it's every prospect and lead's favorite radio station. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me. Our job as salespeople is to teach them how our product and service helps them solve their business case or business challenge. Here's an example of how a simple proposal process and presentation can completely change a business. So this is Jing. Well, I've been doing business with Jing for about 4.5 to 5 years. When I first met her, her sales conversion ratio was less than 10%. It was terrible. And the reason why is because she wasn't delivering a clear message to her prospect and leads on the value that she delivers to architects and real estate developers. And she wasn't showing or demonstrating to them how much it was costing them to not use her solution. So what we did is we simplified the proposal process, we implemented our follow-up system, and what we also did is we simplified how she can communicate or teach her prospects and leads how much it's costing them now to not use her service and how they could benefit from using hers. After we did that, her close ratio is now 43%, simply by making the presentations and proposals clear and simple to understand. No more complication, everything is simple, and it addresses the most important thing for that prospect, which is what's in it for me. Here's number 5, the fifth shift. Stop, my goodness, please. Stop counting on third-party appointment setters. They don't work. And I'm about to show you why they don't work, and it's because they're not being consistent with buyer psychology. So, here's why they don't work. Number 1, a confused mind does not buy. If you're entrusting a third party that works for a different company that is not representing you to set up appointments for you, you're violating that a confused mind does not buy. Number 2, every single person has written across their forehead that they want to feel special, that they want to feel like you matter to them. We used to have a team of callers, and the number 1 feedback that I would ask my calling team as to why we're not getting more appointments, it's not that we weren't getting enough, it's what's stopping us from getting more appointments for our clients, they said this one thing. They said, Charles, the number 1 feedback that we get from calling on your clients' prospects and setting appointments is this. They tell us this, Charles, let me start over. The number 1 thing that they would tell us is, if Charles is that important to me, he'll pick up the phone and call me himself. People want to feel special. And by hiring a $12 to $15 to $20 an hour or whatever person that is working for an agency in the middle of nowhere or who knows where that doesn't understand your product or service, you're at a disadvantage. And a lot of times people are setting appointments just to get that appointment setter off the phone. People want to hear directly from those who they want to do business with because they want to feel special. And number 3, that $12, $15, $20 an hour person, they can't provide the right information at the right time. They don't understand your business, they don't understand your service, they don't understand the different problems you solve, and there's no way that a 1-hour meeting to quote-unquote onboard is going to fix that. So in order to make meaningful appointments with people that you want to do business with, you have to provide the right information at the right time, and it takes a seasoned professional to understand that and to know that. And number 4, they are poor at nurturing leads the right way. Just sending an email that says, hey, we'd like to talk, or providing information that is not relevant to them is not the right way to nurture a lead. You've got to be able to provide the right information at the right time through the right channels. And most are recycling, excuse the French here, most appointment setting companies simply recycle shitty leads. It's I'm sorry again for the for the French, but at the end of the day, I find that the more you know the truth, the better. And most of those third-party appointment setting companies simply recycle leads. Here's a right way to set appointments. Number 1, consistency throughout the process. What we do for our clients is say, look, Charles, we want you and or your sales team to set appointments on our behalf. Remember, we only work with 3 industries: technology companies, staffing and recruiting, architecture and engineering. Our staff, our team knows those industries extremely well. So what we do is we actually set up a proxy LinkedIn profile representing ourselves as your company. And what we do is we run a LinkedIn campaign to where we look for at least 40 to 50 new connections per week. We nurture those leads through a non-promotional education-based email campaign And then our sales team, who understands your industry and understands your business very, very well through our 1 month onboarding process. Uh, and they are looking to set appointments with those that have connected with them on LinkedIn through their proxy or what they call their duplicate LinkedIn profile. Now, on March 21st of 2018, LinkedIn changed their user profile where you could not have duplicate profiles. However, since we know LinkedIn well and have a lot of relationships with people there since we do so much business with them, they have told us that as long as the email, phone number, and location is different, you can have a proxy LinkedIn profile. So for all of our clients that we run the sales conversion system on, we create a proxy LinkedIn campaign or a proxy LinkedIn profile, and we send 100 invitations a week to get 40 to 50 new connections. We nurture them through an educational, non-promotional email campaign, and then we call that list up each and every week and set up 5 appointments with our team, and we conduct the introductory process with them. So the introductory call establishes the relationship with your company with our sales team. Now, after we conduct the introductory call, we transition it to a discovery meeting where we bring a subject matter in. Well, who's the subject matter? You are. That's when we make the formal transition from our company, and by the way, they don't know who Cornerstone is throughout the entire process. So we make the transition from the relationship being with me or my sales team or my salesperson or whatever to you by introducing the subject matter expert. And at the discovery meeting, that's where we are with your prospect. Either me or my sales team will be on that call or in that meeting, and you. And that's when we formally transition it, because that's when we set up you to be the star and further establish you inside the relationship. This process that we use is extremely 100% consistent with how people buy. Once the relationship is established, you convert it to a discovery meeting where we have uncovered what the need is and what they're looking to accomplish. When we bring in you, the subject matter expert, that's when their mind is open and we're now in the New York cortex, and they're willing and open to have a meaningful conversation with you about how you can help them solve their business case. Like I said, this is extremely consistent with buyer psychology. Any other way simply does not work because it does not meet the requirements of how to get past the reptilian brain, how to be consistent and create a peaceful and safe environment in the limbic system so that we can get to the neocortex and have a meaningful conversation on how we can solve their business case. So, what is the order priority on setting appointments with your leads? Well, obviously, the number one, the lowest hanging fruit is going to be referrals from existing clients. Then it's going to be brand new leads. These are the 40 or 50 leads that we create each week from the LinkedIn campaign that we run. And then the third is stale leads. Stale leads could be, a month old or more is typically what we see as stale leads. And a lot of the times what we do in our sales conversion program is ask them for those stale leads, because it's going to take us 2 or 3 weeks to create those new leads from the LinkedIn campaign and then properly nurture them. So stale leads is a great place for us to start, or a great place for you to start on setting appointments, because chances are your sales team has not followed up with them appropriately or enough times. So today I've discussed, number one, how to reduce your sales cycle time through a consistent follow-up system. The follow-up system, if you follow up with your leads 7 to 12 times, will at least reduce your sales cycle by 25%. Number two, how to be consistent with buyer psychology, how to make the reptilian brain feel safe, how to create a peaceful and nurturing and safe environment in the limbic system so you can get up to the neocortex and have a meaningful conversation how your product or service can help solve your leads or prospects business case. And number three, why using third-party appointment setting companies simply does not work. I also discuss how many follow-ups are required to close a sale, and also discuss why sales professionals fail to meet their sales objectives. So here's what you need to win one more time. Number one, be consistent with buyer psychology. Number two, the money is in the follow-up. Number three, accountability. It's the glue that holds a sales team together and helps it excel. Number four, simplify your proposal and presentations. A confused mind cannot buy. And number five, stop counting on third-party appointment setting companies, as they simply do not work. So, with this information, you now have a choice. To know and not to implement is the equivalent of not to know, right? So, here's how I or we can help. My team and I have set aside some time in the next week to speak with you personally about converting more leads into new clients. How much does it cost? Free. That's not entirely true. It's going to cost you your time. And time is the only asset that we have that we cannot get back. But the actual cost of the call is zero in terms of dollar amounts. Here's where we're doing this. Number one, we believe that sales makes everyone's life better. The more you sell, the more you can pay people, the more you can hire on new people to help on the operations or the sales team. You can pay bonuses, and you can increase the quality of life of everybody in your organization and your clients as well. Number two, people really need your help. We work with some outstanding clients. We love each and every one of them, and we truly believe that their services are second to none. I mean, these are outstanding companies, and the world or your prospects needs to know about you. So we want to make sure that your sales team does not get in the way of that due to the fear of failure or criticism or by not following with them appropriately. And number three, we just geek out at watching our clients grow their sales. It's just fun. We just love it when we get a call from a client that says we just closed a $250,000 deal, or we just closed a $1.3 million ERP system, or we just closed a $900,000 software system. So we just, like I said, we just geek out at that. So what I'd like to offer you is to simply click below. It gives you direct access to my calendar, and we're going to have a 15-minute call simply to get to know each other, discuss where you are in sales, where you want to get to, discuss how many leads you get, where your leads come from, how they've been nurtured, and we're going to create a plan on how to convert more of those leads into sales. So spaces are limited, so please, please, please don't wait on this. Those who wait typically miss out. So go ahead and click the button below or click the link below, and let's set up a 15-minute call. Let's get to know each other, and let me know what information that I can provide you to help you increase your sales by converting more leads into new sales. I hope this time has been very, very productive and helpful for you, and I look forward to speaking with you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.